Alright, time for an update. So, I want this video to be a little bit longer. I'm going to go over the trades, the drawdown, where I see things going in the next couple of days, or 24 hours at least. And then I'm also going to talk about the comments that I received from the last video that I released yesterday, and what has been said. Because right now, or when I have drawdown in particular, these kind of questions come out. Is Ryan's strategy good? Can it uh, last over time? Does it include good money management? Is he really who he says he is in the market? Can he really trade? Is his system really that good? All these things come into question when we're experiencing drawdown like this. And it's perfectly normal. So if those of you that are, copying my trades and are experiencing this, those feelings are normal. And for those that have been following me but are not copying, or those that disagree with how I trade, and just looking for that opportunity to pick on me in times like this, uh, you have something to learn. And you know, I always say that you can never stop learning in the trading in the markets. I'm always learning on a daily basis. But there is something frustrating about Forex world, and I think the most frustrating thing is the people, the traders that trade, or that claim to be traders, because they feel like they know everything. And I'm not excused from this. I have come out with some arrogant comments at points during my video series over the last 2 years. And the reason why I try to, or I may sound arrogant in some ways, in some of my videos, is because I'm trying to make a point that trading like this can be profitable if done correctly. And in order to make a point on that, you have to kind of show some confidence in that. So let's go to the charts, and actually, you know what? Let's talk about the comments first, because I think that's something that maybe my followers have been reading, are the comments, and it may be shaking them a bit and makes for not a good trading experience when these comments come in and people read them. So let me just clear this up first. So the first comment that came in is from a user called Wallstar, and basically, picking out my system, saying 10% drawdown's high, this and that. But the reality is that anybody that tries to pick on my trading or what I'm doing is most likely a loser. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean, um, but this is a stat-driven world. Not just in Forex trading, but in everything. Everything's about stats. We need stats in order to make uh, decisions, educated decisions. We need those stats to so we can have ease of mind to understand what we're getting ourselves into. And if we don't have those, then it's tricky to make that a proper decision. So Wallstar has a page, and you can see that he has a couple of trading videos, hasn't really released much in the last while. And the things that he talks about are not bad. But there's a big but, and that is that he talks about just your standard trading, your standard indicators, Fibonacci levels, nothing really different. And that's my big pet peeve with another big pet peeve of mine in the trading markets is that it's just the same old information that's constantly shared over and over again. And we know that in the retail trading space, we don't know what the hedge funds guys are doing because we don't have access to that kind of stuff. And it's hard to really know if they're trend trading, if they're counter trend trading, if they're holding their positions for years at a time, which typically was the case. Years ago, they would hold long positions, and they would also day trade, but day trading is becoming a lot harder. But it's really difficult to really know what they're doing because it's all hush hush. But we do know what the retail market is doing. We have a better idea. And all the same stuff is rehashed over and over and over again. And we know that in the retail space that at least 95% of traders lose. And it's said, or at least rumored, that 99% of retail Forex traders actually lose. And if you're confused by when I say retail, that means like me, somebody that's trading from their home, not officially part of a company or anything like that, um, or a hedge fund. So that's a big issue, is that the same things are done over and over again. And a lot of people think, well, the reason why they're done over and over again, or this information is said over and over again, is because it works. It's proven. It has a great track record. Yeah, you could say that with the books that have been written back 5, 10, 15, even 20 years ago, that these techniques worked. But the markets are changing. So these old techniques, Fibonacci levels, I hate Fibonacci levels because they are just don't show us anything. Just because these levels are showing support and resistance from previous price action doesn't mean that they're going to hold again. Doesn't, and we also, if we enter at these levels, it doesn't mean that um, these levels are substantial enough and they will tell us where to profit. It just makes people think that trading is simple, and it's not. Yes, we have indicators that can help us simplify and make sense of what the market is showing us, but it doesn't necessarily mean that trading is easy. I've never claimed to know everything in the market. I've never claimed to have the best system in the world, or best trading method or system or money management. But I look at things in a different way. And the reason why I look at them in a different way is because I think that's necessary in order to try to profit from this market that 95 or 99% of people lose in. You can't just do the same old stuff because that just doesn't work anymore. You can't, the rumor is, let your losers, cut your losers short and let your profits run. Yes, that's a fantastic theory, and uh, when it's said, but it's just a theory because um, there's no way of proving that that's the best way to trade. On paper, it sounds great. You can think, oh well, that makes sense. Cutting your losses short and letting your profits ride. Yeah, that seems like great money management. But when it's in practice, it's much easier, much harder said than done. So, who would you believe in this situation? Somebody that's claiming to know everything but doesn't have the stats to back up their of what they're saying. I see this all the time when people harass me about how I'm trading the markets. They say, "Oh, well, you're doing this or you're doing that. You have awful money management. Your drawdown's too high." But they are easy to dish it out, but they can't handle it themselves. I'm not saying that Wallstar is a bad trader. I'm saying that he needs to back up his argument with one, his face on his YouTube page or on his YouTube videos, because I feel like people that don't show their face have something to hide. You know, maybe it's just a personal choice of theirs, but if they want to have no strings attached or have nothing to hide, then why not show your face? I don't understand that. And when it comes to trading, yes, you do have to show your stats because that's the only thing that we have to hold on to. That's the only way we can show credibility is by showing stats. And I do that. I've shown my stats for a long time over the last 2 years, and I haven't deleted any of my videos. People know that I've had losses in my past when it comes to my manual trading. But what they do know is that my trading strategy with my algorithm or my EA has been solid over the last many, many years, 4 years to be exact. So please, if somebody harasses me, back it up with something credible, not just some information rehashed. This is how you trade, this is how you don't trade. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear something more substantial. So, I mean, that goes for a lot of the comments here. I'm just picking on Wallstar because he commented a few times here. And thank you for my supporters or backers or followers for trying to, back me up here. But that's okay. It's not your responsibility to do so. I ignore a lot of these comments because it's just fluff. And, I hate to try to dumb people down in times like this because it puts me on a pedestal and it makes me think that I feel like I'm better than these people. And that's not the case. I don't know these people. I don't know how they trade. I don't know their previous stats or trading history. I don't know what they look like. So how can I really make a good proper judgment on this? I just don't have enough information. But that's the thing I'm trying to change here with my trading strategy. I'm trying to change the fact of lack of information. No strings attached. Uh, complete transparency. That's something that this market doesn't really have. And, yes, I could face losses here, but I've told my followers in my videos that there's risk involved in any type of trading. It doesn't matter what it is. And I'm never ever I'm still prone to have losses because that's part of trading. I'm never immune to this market. I've developed a strategy that has shown really positive results over the last 10 years, and so far it has continued to. But that does not mean that it will in the next couple of months. Yes, we could face losses in the next couple of months because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm doing my best to prepare for what may or may not happen. But there's no way to avoid the potential of drawdown or losses. There is one mistake that I've made, and uh, I don't try to hide the mistakes. I don't try to cover them up. The ones that I've made in the past, I don't try to delete my videos or try to avoid talking about my losses that I've had. Those that have been with me or been following my channel for a long time understand that I have told you about all the losses that I've had in the last 2 years. So the big mistake that I made was telling individuals that the minimum that they could trade with was uh, about $500, which is the case. That's accurate. But I did say that we could experience 20 to 25% drawdown in in my trading, and that's what I foresaw. And we did hit just about 20% drawdown with my current risk setting. But that's for $1,000 about. So $1,000 for accounts that are 1,000 or more. That risk was the case, 20 to 25% drawdown, which is completely acceptable when it comes to higher risk trading. 20 to 25%, that is completely acceptable. Anything under 30, in my book, is considered uh, a manageable risk when we're talking about 8 to 12% potential profit per month. But what I failed to mention was these accounts that are under $1,000 will experience higher risk. And the reason for this is because they have a smaller account, not as much money as my strategy needs to have the 20 to 25% drawdown. So 20 to 25% drawdown is for accounts that are $1,000 or more, and anything that's under that. So if it's 900, that means that you're probably going to potentially have a bit more than that, 22 to 28% or something like that. And if it's $500, you're going to be experiencing drawdowns that are twice as much as the $1,000 account that I'm recommending. So that means that instead of 20 to 25%, you're going to be getting more like 40 to 45% drawdown. Sorry, yes, yeah, or 40 to 50% drawdown. So that was something that I failed to mention, and I'm sorry to my subscribers because there are some that have $500 to $700 accounts, fortunately, and I apologize for that. So after these trades close out, whether it's in profit or loss, I'm not going to say either one at this point, but things are starting to move in our favor, and I'll get into that in just a second. But we need to understand about the risks involved here. And I made a mistake, and I'm trying to correct that now. So moving forward, I'm going to recommend once your trades close out, are you okay with 40 to 50% drawdown on your small 500, 600, $700 accounts? If not, add a bit more money to make it 1,000. Or if you're okay with that, leave it as is, and you will experience the $500 accounts will experience twice as much profit. So instead of 8 to 12%, you'll be getting 16 to 24% profit potential each month. So quite a bit different. All right. So I hope that's okay. I hope that makes sense. And let's get into the trades. Make sure that everything's still working here. So we're at 16 minutes. All right, so let's talk about the trades real fast. We're currently at a drawdown of just over, we're looking at about 12% right now, 11, 12%. So things are starting to move in our favor. I know this looks really bad, especially for traders that trend trade and hate, and they think, oh, you're trading against the trend, you're adding to losing positions, all the negative things that most people understand that uh, builds up or compiles to be a bad strategy. And I'm telling you that I don't see it that way. And there are other counter trend traders out there that agree that counter trend trading can work. And especially if it's, I guess, put in together with basket trading as well. A lot of people don't like basket trading, but if you talk to really big hedge fund traders, which I've actually been able to do, I've been able to talk to a few hedge fund traders, and they agree that basket trading is. My headphones turned off. That basket trading is an effective use of money management if it's done within means. So we have our trades here on the pound Canadian dollar. And I'm talking about these is because we have the most trades on the pound CAD. And this is a grid. As you can see, the trades are pretty close together. There's slight differences in each one because once the price starts to widen and we have a higher volatility, I have filters in place to minimize the trades that are taken and to us uh, help us weather the volatility if there is any. Okay, so we're starting to move down, and we did have some pretty large candles, and in particular this one, bearish candle, that it's the biggest bearish candle that we've had in just about a week, and so there's definitely some resistance up at this point. We're talking about 1.8 is a really powerful level, and we're starting to move down. And I expect that we'll probably continue to move down. Now we do have a speech that's coming out today, right here on the pound, that could drive some volatility either on the up or downside. If anything's talked about when it comes to Brexit and decisions that are positivity having to do with Brexit, that could cause the pound to again move back up, and it could move back up in a pretty big way. So unfortunately, that could cause us to move more into drawdown. All right. So we'll take it as it comes, and we'll see what that speech brings. But we still have quite a few hours before that happens. It's only 10:22, so we have about 4 or so hours before that happens, 3 to 4 hours. So maybe we can get some more movement on the downside and potentially get out of this trade before that speech even takes place. All right, so we also have some trades in on the New Zealand Canadian dollar, and this one is starting to show some signs of as well of movement down. You could say that this was a minor pullback, but the candles didn't really show me any good movement down. There wasn't any really indication here that this was a substantial pullback. But this bearish candle here that has a wick on top and body as well was a nice engulfing candle with a nice wick on top, showing us that this could be that there could be a nice resistance up here and a push back down. Now I say could because obviously I don't really know until it's past tense, hindsight's 2020. But what we really do need is the pound Canadian dollar to really move in the positive direction. And the reason why I say that is because these three pairs, which we have trades on all of them, uh, act individually and together. And so if the pound moves into profit, continues to move down another 50 to 100 pips, we will likely come out with profit on this pair, and all trades will close out for a positive gain. But we will still be in on the other two pairs at that point. But if this is the $126,000 account, we don't have trades are slightly different on this account. We don't have any trades on the New Zealand Canadian dollar as they did not manifest themselves at Oanda. So going back to the trades that we have here, we obviously need this to go down. We need the Aussie CAD to move down as well. We don't have a lot of trades on that one, just three, and that's already in positive on all the three trades that we have on the Aussie CAD right now. So that's looking good so far, and if the New Zealand CAD does end up moving down, likely that the Aussie CAD will follow. So the reason why things are doing this, and I've mentioned about it in my last video, why is price and why are we in such big drawdown right now? Well, I blame it on Trump and his tariffs that he's been doing for the having to do with Canada and taxing steel and aluminum. And Canada has huge, they export these materials to us in a large way, and so it's causing a lot of problems on the Canadian dollar as we speak. But it's not just that. Canada is also suffering from a lot of negative data um, and inflation issues as well that are happening right now. So there are some new statements that are coming out tomorrow that really could push things in our profit, but it also could make things worse. We have the trade balance. We have overnight bank rate, which I'm expecting to probably be the same, but we don't really know. These things could give us surprises and could cause massive volatility tomorrow. And I'm also having these trades just for those that want some closure on this $500 and $600 and $700 accounts. Just a quick note on that. I'm also trading that same risk level, so your same risk level at FX Choice. So I don't totally disagree with using that higher risk strategy. That means that we can get 16 to 24% a month, and I'm currently doing that at FX Choice. So for those that are experiencing higher drawdown in the 40 to even 50% range, I'm experiencing the same thing at FX Choice. But that's my choice to do that, and it should be yours as well. All right, so going back to the charts, uh, so we have some movement, and that's good. Let's see if this continues. I'm not going to say that I think that this is going to move down, and I'm positive about it, I'm sure, because nothing's ever sure. Each one of these trades, even though they look so bad in how they're doing, and how that there's so many of them, we don't need the pullback to be that substantial. We need it to be probably in this area or so, in order for us to close out all of these trades in a profitable way. That's how my strategy works, and I have a minimal risk on each and every trade. Yes, once they all are in together, it does add up to be a substantial amount. But I have calculated that potential drawdown in the risk management in the strategy, and that's why I trade it this way. Okay, so I think that's it when it comes to the trades. And I think that I covered enough on YouTube when it comes to the comments that are being said. And I'm not going to do any specifics. And, of course, I'm going to have only 6 positive ratings and 12 negative. Of course, because people see the drawdown, they see it's high, they see that this type of trading looks negative. But I put myself out in the public to show that, to show you the drawdown, to show you what trades are in. It's one reason why I stopped showing the trades in the past. But since I have people following me now in my trades, I've decided to show the drawdown. A lot of times I'll just show them, show the trades after they have taken profit, so you have a better idea. Uh, so to avoid getting a lot of negativity, because when people see the current drawdown in the trades that I'm in, then they'd like to pick on me. But if they see that the trades are closed out in profit, that's not as bad, right? So I've decided that, screw those people, put them aside, and I'm just going to show you what's going on here, because we're in this together. A lot of us are, and I don't know everything, and I'm never going to claim to know everything when it comes to the market. I'm also not going to make predictions. I can say that this may happen or that may happen, but I'm not going to bank on it. All I'm going to bank on is working my strategy and the way I think is best. And hopefully you guys can see that as well. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll be coming back with another update. I'm traveling again tomorrow, um, and hopefully I can give you an update before I leave or when I come back. But thanks again for your support, and I hope that those that pick on me will start to understand a little bit more that there are a number of strategies that work out there. It doesn't matter if you're a trend trader, if you're a counter trend trader, if you're a scalper. Please get your facts straight. I'm showing everything here. I understand the risks involved. And if you're going to pick on me, back it up with something. Either stats or something that you have to show credibility, ability, because that's what this game is all about, is credibility. All right? See you next time.